In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Worship Extreme's countdown feature to add a countdown clock or a timer in any given slide at any moment. The countdown feature is a cool little thing that you can add to enhance your slides, whether it be a countdown timer before service starts or any given moment. Like right now, today is December 31st, 2018, and most churches are going to have a New Year's Eve service or a watch night service or something to that capacity. So the idea is you can have a countdown timer on your screen to count down to the new year, and that way it can stay up the entire time, and that way you don't have to worry about having a clock, or if somebody's preaching, you can see that clock there. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. All right, so I'm here in Worship Extreme, and again, let you know I have the Pro Plus level, but I believe this can still be done in the free version. So you would just go here to More, and we have our countdown timer right here. So as you can see, it's very bare bones. This is a completely different template compared to the template that was done with songs and lyrics. So this template is going to be just for your countdown, so you can make multiple ones. So we're going to go ahead and make one. So I'm going to say I'm going to set down a countdown timer for the new year. So first, I use a particular font all the time, and that's Nexa Bold. That just happens to be the font that sticks out the most for me and for my church. And you change the size and here to what you think is comfortable relative to your screen. Now you can always come in here and change this, but because it's highly unlikely that you're gonna get this exactly the way you want it the first time. So I want to have it right here in the lower right hand corner, and I want to count down to. So I'm gonna say I want to count down to 12 a.m. And when I set this time, it is based off of my current time. So you can't schedule this multiple days out. This timer is for the given day. All right, you could always do a countdown timer or a count up, but again, I'm counting down to midnight. And you can add underline and all this other stuff. Now I use an ATEM switcher to handle everything. So a little stuff that I'm changing is going to be used to take advantage of the features in the ATEM to put it as a lower third on our entire screen. But you could always use this with a full screen image or anything. And I'll actually probably go through how you can integrate Worship Extreme to do picture-in-picture and lower thirds in a later video. And now what I want to do is I want to save this as New Year's. And like I said, you can make multiple ones. All right, so if I cut over to the display screen, as you can see, the number is kind of cut off. So I need to come back in here and readjust. All right, so let's stop and start. And cut back over, and that's good. So now we have a good representation of what's going on here. And this will work the same way if you had a regular countdown timer of 30 seconds, whatever, or you can count down to, say you have, let's cut back over here. Let's say we want to do church announcements, and church announcement starts 3 minutes before church service starts. So you can come in here and make a new template and say we want to call this a countdown, and the countdown is going to be 3 minutes. Let's readjust this one to right here, and we want to save this as service start. So let's go ahead and cut over to see what it looks like, and we hit start. So now we have a 3-minute timer, and this is a perfect way that if you do, say, 3-minute church announcements, when people see that timer, they will know that the announcements are going to take that long, and at the end of that time, your service is starting. You can do that for any other item that you want. And honestly, with the stage display, you can actually include this if you want to have your speaker wants to know of a particular time that he wants to speak and doesn't want to go over. So that's just an added feature that you can do to enhance your service and help other ways to integrate that. And I know there are tons of other ways that you can implement this, but especially since we're going into the new year, that's one of the first things you would think about that you can use it. That way it's unobtrusive, but then it actually calls out. Now, one other thing I would probably recommend, and actually let me just jump back over here. So say what I want to do is the way to enhance this. Let me go ahead and stop the timer, and I'm going to go back and pick our New Year's countdown. So I'm just going to close this for right now, because it can always come back. Now, what I would do is this. I would have a slide made just to have like a call out box, so it stands out, it's more prominent on top of video that's being overlaid. And I'll actually show you how I do this with my ATEM switcher, just as a little bonus feature. So if I come in here, all it is a black box. You can make this as fancy as you want. I just put a gray box with countdown to New Year, just so people know what the timer is for. All right, so I return back, launch this. You can see that it's already there. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead back to our countdowns, and let's start that. So now it just stands out and is prominent on top of everything. Now let me give you this bonus tip of how the ATEM works. This is my ATEM switcher, and I have right now, I am showing picture-in-picture. So let me turn this off. You can see that went away. So now you're just seeing the screen, you're not seeing my camera embedded on that. So inside of this, one of the features is going to be called a downstream keyer. And that's just how you would, and actually let me turn this back on so you can actually see me while I'm talking. So what you're going to do is how your video switcher works, it works in layers. And this is just how you see on TV, where you have the little lower, you have the lower third bar here, a graphics, a bug, or something like that, like you see on the news or on sporting events. So this would be the main video that you would see of your speaker, whatever events that are going on in your church. So I'm going to use a downstream keyer, which will layer different videos on top, and the ATEM removes black. So if we cut back over to our screen over here, you can see that everything here is black. So when I put this in the ATEM, it's going to erase everything that's black and show everything else. So what I'm going to do is my field source is going to be screen number 2, and the mat is going to be screen number 2. That's the key, the key source. That's where the color is. So if I come in here, let me turn this off. I'm going to go back to just my camera. So when I cut over, this is what you see. This is just like the regular video that you would see with anybody talking. But if I come back over here and activate, this was key number 2, activate key source number 2, as you can see, now the video is implemented on top, and we might want to make a little adjustment here so it's easier to see, and that's with your gain. That's just changing how you could actually see the colors a little bit better. All right, so I've made that little adjustment, because now if we go back, see, now you have it prominently sticking out in comparison to what you were doing. So you could have service still go on the way you want it to, but then right over here, yeah, right over here, you'd have the clock going on. And as you can see with the numbers, I might need to push that over just a little bit, just because the larger numbers are getting in the way. So let me cut back over here one more time and make a little adjustment. If anything, I'm probably going to drop the size a little bit. Bring it down, so we stop and start, and I think that looks a lot better now. So if I cut over, as you can see, you can always adjust this and everything like that, but I think this one works pretty good now. Because I changed the size, you just got to be careful on the size of the numbers, since that takes up a lot more space. All right, so anyway guys, that's how you can use countdown timers to enhance your church service. So again, I hope you like this type of content. If you do, I would really appreciate a like, and consider subscribing so you can get more videos like this, and that way you don't miss those videos. Go ahead and click that notification button. That way you get notified when I post new videos, tutorial videos, and other media ministry tips and tricks that you can use to enhance and grow your media ministry. This is AJ, and we'll catch you next time.